Hey there, this is Niels Beardfoot, and today we're crafting the cathedral leg armor from leather. Print the pattern out in your size, cut it out, tape it together, and transfer it onto the leather and cut out that too. We're using 3.5mm or 9-ounce wedge tanned leather here. For all cutouts in the inside, hole punches are a great help here. So use them as you have them, big and small, in all the corners, and make your life a little bit easier. Also, these small bladed tools come in very handy. Also, there are quite a few actual holes that we want to punch. With a beveler, we want to break the edges and prepare them later on for burnishing. Now we want to moisten our leather to prepare it for all the embossing that we want to do. Dunk it in, set it aside and let it dry a bit. And then we can use these tools to trace parallel lines to the edge, which makes it easier for our stamps to go parallel along the edge. Also, you can trace the lines through the pattern. With our swivel knife, we can also trace some of the lines to create some decorative stamps afterwards with the beveler. These are the bevelers. Apart from those, you can choose whatever stamp that you have and that you like and see fit to this project. And for the rustic look, a stone does really great job here. Also with the swivel knife you can add additional cutting marks from some battle damage. If you have, you also got the option to use a laser to engrave the design on the leather, which here in this case basically replaces the swivel knife. Now we can start with the dyeing process. I start here with a teal base coat that I just use a sponge on a stick to apply everywhere. To darken everything and create a bunch of shadows, I use some black with an airbrush in a low angle, low to the ground, and this way automatically shadows are created. With some sandpaper of high grit, we also can remove after that some of the dye to create a few highlights. And finish it up with some leather finish. Also, you want to put these on the edges and use the moisture for burnishing them. After this, we want to shape the pieces. So we moisten them again. If you want, you can harden them with hot water, maximum of 50 degrees Celsius or 122 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we start shaping after letting it set for a while. This piece mostly needs to be roundish, so we just curl it up and make it fit to our leg. Most of the other pieces also need to be shaped in 2 dimensions. So a breakfast bowl, like the one I'm using here, which is mostly round, does a really great job in helping here. Just put the leather in and then press it on there. It really does an amazing job if you just get a little bit of practice with it. Now there's an additional material that we want to use, which is 4mm felt. And we want to put it on the inside of pretty much all the leather pieces. And this is mostly decorative. So we glue it in place and then we sew around all the edges, which is difficult, at least a lot of work, if you don't have a leather sewing machine. So if you have one, use it, else you guess you need some time for this, doing it by hand. The felt does not really look clean for the moment, so what we're gonna do is we want to arrange our stone plate with our cutting board on top it on the edge of our table, and then use about, in this case, a 1/2 inch end punch, or in my case it's just a round punch cut in half, and we want to use it to cut away the felt in this manner, and then it looks quite beautiful. And if you're using a synthetic felt, you can burn away any excess. We also need to repunch all the round holes through the felt. So now let me show you all the pieces that we have. We got here the pieces for the foot directly. These two will be sewn together along this edge, so you want to cut away some of the felt here just to make it easier. And then these two will be overlapped like this. Then we got the greave pieces. We got 3 layers here. These will be arranged on top of each other, and almost none of them have felt, only this part in this area. Then we got the other greaves parts for the sides of the greaves, and these have felt. These will be sewn on like this. Those are the knee parts. They have felt all over the flash side and will be connected via screw rivets. Then we got the big piece for the upper leg that we just seen in detail how it's made. And it will be connected to the knee part, also with screw rivets. And then on the top of the leg part, these pieces will be put on. And to cover your hip, we got those pieces. These will be overlapping, and this one will be sewn on the big part like this. We're starting with the greaves. Just lay all the layers on top of each other. Use some small clamps to hold them in place, and then start sewing. Note that all the pieces will be sewn together, but don't sew on the sewing lines right along these edges for the moment. We also want to shape the greaves because we haven't done that for now. So we moisten them, just dunk them in, set them aside for a while, and then we sew on the side pieces for the greaves. And that's where the sewing edges are for. Just slap them together, easy task. And if you did this with both sides, you can bend them in place. To attach everything to your leg, we use some buckles with some straps and rivets to hold them on your armor. And with those, it's easy to hold the greaves in the shape to let them dry. To attach most of the pieces together, we use some soft but strong flexible strap, like in this case backpack strap. We can open some holes, put some rivets through, and we need quite a bunch of them, so get started. For the foot armor, we will also need to sew together these two pieces. And just a quick reminder, it's easier if you cut away some of the felt just to get in the sewing holes, and so the leather can overlap with itself. Also, what it makes easier is to moisten the edges. Also here we got some narrow buckle and strap to attach it underneath your foot. Just attach it as well with rivets as before. Now, to attach the foot pieces to your greaves, we got those straps that we mentioned before. We got 3 of them. One is different than the other 2. This one is for the center. You rivet it on, and then the other 2 on the side. After this, it's easy. We just rivet on the next piece and the next piece and the next piece. Easy. For the knee, it's partly the same. We got one strap, but only for the center. So we rivet on this strap, and then for the sides, left and right, we use screw rivets. It is recommended to use some glue or similar as screw locker. Easy. For the big upper leg armor, it's very much the same. We just need to add some buckles and straps first. Also, we got these 2 pieces that will be put on the upper edge of the upper leg armor. And here it works just as with the foot. Just keep in mind we got here this lash, which has to stand over for the very end, for the big reveal, I may say, or something like this. Easy. Now attach it also with screw rivets and with the center strap to the knee. The Tasset, everything is similar to the ones that you've seen so far. Easy. And there you go. Leg armor finished. It is actually a quite interesting piece based on the techniques I used to make it movable, but it works out very nicely. Especially on the knees with the screw rivets. I haven't done something like this before, but I love it. I have to say it, I love it. And here you can see why these lashes are on 2 of these flexible strong straps on the upper leg. Because there we want to add the suspenders, which need to be quite strong, but with some stretchy ones, it's very comfortable to wear. And if you wondered how it's attached to your boot, this is exactly how it's done. We got this strap that goes underneath your boot, and it's important that you got a little bit of room there in your boot to make it work. Yeah, and that's the Tasset. For me personally, this entire leg armor is probably my favorite part of the entire set, because it looks really nice, it works, it moves, it's just nice. Check it out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out my other ones that I have, also the pattern, and see you guys next time. Have a great day.